Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Silent K, and today we are going to be playing some MekHQ slash MegaMek. It is currently Friday, May 29th, 3046. Before I really get into things, though, I do have the first commander who perished in cruel battle. Indeed. There is actually, he is still technically on the roster. Uh, However, he is listed first, at least in this case, in the rolls of honor. So yeah, moment of silence there. And then after that moment of silence, I also have some shoutouts. We have new Twitch followers. We have Higzilla and Meatiest Meatball. So hello and welcome to the party. And on Discord, we have a new member, the Stray Dog. So yeah, welcome to the community. Like, comment, follow, subscribe. Links are wherever I could put them. So it seems that... Yes, it seems that we're jumping right into a battle. I'm sorry, I didn't spend as much time reviewing last week's episode as I maybe could have. But it seems, let me just double check. Yeah, we have two battles pending, actually, one today and one tomorrow. And it seems that the archer, oh yeah, that archer has a damaged arm, we knew that. However, there's... Okay. I'm slightly confused. Okay, yeah, we are deploying 7 mechs. Our Marianas Lance and 3/4 of the Tonga's Lance. What could have been happening instead of you reviewing? I was actually talking about, I was talking to Gemini. We were discussing late 90s, 80s, early 2000s rock music, and just kind of going back and forth on YouTube, listening to various things. What may have been happening instead of aliens. So yeah, sorry, we've got mission going in. We've got some hunchback. Oh yes, needs left torso and an arm. We've got a trebuchet, which I believe we salvaged from an ejected guy. Alright, yeah, I'm feeling woefully unprepared for this episode right now, actually. Yeah, I did the bare minimum as far as setting up, and I apologize. I expect everyone to have higher standards for me, and I try to have higher standards for me, but I got distracted. So it is our 7 mechs and an elite pilot and a hunchback, along with, looks like a medium lance and a medium mixed lance. So that's cool. And we are trying to protect a bunch of ordnance and demolition mechs. We have a triple LRM turret, which is nice, and a triple medium laser turret, which could come in handy, versus 7,000 points of enemy that looks like a heavy lance and a light or medium mixed lance, as well as a heavy mixed lance and a light mixed... Well, the Stinger and the Lost are lights, but the Hermes and the Shadowhawk are solid mediums. So would we call that a light lance or a medium lance? Anyway, we're going to be playing in a concrete jungle, a rather large one at 51 by 45 hexes, in a strong gale, which we could reroll if we wanted to. The Archer and the Wolverine are kind of... Wait. that Wolverine is laser centric. So we do have the Archer. We have 2 Archers. The Orion has some missiles. But it looks like our allies are mostly 4H. Okay. It's not letting me, so I guess that's a new feature. 6R Warhammer is energy-based. LRM carrier could be an issue. But we have a triple LRM turret, which is tougher than an LRM carrier. Yeah, I think the Strong Guild kind of works in our favor a little bit. 4P is laser based. 5S has LRMs and I believe an SRM too. Is it worth a reroll? No, I don't think it is. And our objective is to ensure that at least 3 individual of the turret and civilian units survive, as well as we have a 1-point penalty to our contract score for every allied or liaison mech. 1 point for every loss to our contract score, which appears to have been supplanted by something else. We no longer have a contract score, it seems. So that's interesting. I knew that in 49.3 they had done away with the contract score being displayed when you're on StratCon, but we're not running StratCon on this game, so perhaps that was an oversight. I guess I will probably submit a bug report. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, we currently have no contract score, so we losses have apparently no real consequences. Our objective is to destroy, cripple, or force the withdrawal of at least 50% of both enemy forces, and ensure that 50% of the units from our lances and allies and liaison survive. Winner controls the battlefield. Losing will end the contract. And with that, I think, because there's 14,000-ish, 15,000 worth of enemy, we have 11, almost 12,000 worth of allies, well, more with the Hunchback. Plus our 2 lances. I think this isn't going to be too much of a challenge. Except apparently our reinforcements arrive on round 9, which is... no. So that's Wyvern, Petra, and Hoser. Who's the ranking member of those 3? That would be Pedro as the Lieutenant Senior grade. He has 3 tactics but no strategy. So no strategy means that we're going in at speed from 12, which is at least round 8 for these 2. So that's reasonable, I guess. And then Blackjack, wait, is Blackjack part of that lance? No, the Blackjack is part of Mariana's lance, who is our primary force. Or do I have that backwards? Ah, okay. Wyvern, Petra, and I was looking at the wrong lance. Between Wyvern, Petra, and Hoser, that's Petra, who has, again, no strategy. So we're still coming in at speed, but that's this lance instead of this lance. This lance being our primary force, I suppose. Which I guess is fine with me. Excuse me. So the Blackjack being a speed of 5 with a strategy of 0 would be round 7. So I guess that works. We're trying to get them down to half. They're trying to get us down to half. Who are the biggest ballers on this field? For the friendlies, that's going to be the Phoenix Hawk LAM with the 3-3 pilot, followed by the Wolverine with the veteran pilot, the Vulcan with the 2-5 pilot, and the Vedette with the 1-3 pilot, scoring surprisingly low on the battle value just because of the, I guess, lack of armor and weaponry to use those high scores on. For the enemies, we need to be watching out for this Grasshopper, even though it has a 4-6 pilot, the Thunderbolt with a 4-6 pilot, Hunchback 4P, which is 8 medium lasers, and the Guillotine, which has 4, and a large, and the SRMs. So he's pretty good at everything. 4-6-4. I'm a big fan of the Guillotine. I'm glad that their Guillotine pilot is such a terrible shot. Their Warhammer 6R is also terrible shot with a 6-6 pilot. And that's one of the biggest threats on the field. Ish, I guess. What is that, like 9th place? They do have air support. Autocannon 10, 2 SRM4s, 2 LRM5s, and an SRM2. So the heavy is kind of a threat. The medium, maybe less so. Delivering 3 hits a turn between 4 and 5 points max. So the medium strike defender, lower priority, especially with the 5-6 pilot. They do have a second 6R with a slightly better pilot, but we're the only ones with any SPAs. Now this map, I don't know, I kind of like this map, or at least this approximation thereof. So yeah, I think we don't need our reroll for anything in this case. We have, of course, lost the initiative for deployment, even with our bonus, which is bigger than theirs. And within our team, it looks like we're going 3rd. So at least there will be something on the field. All right. Zooming out so we can come over here. We've got a Vulcan and a Centurion. Right. I kind of forgot to check where they're coming from. We're starting in the center. Our allies are starting in the center. They're coming from the south, both forces. So why did you guys deploy facing north, I wonder? That said, I will deploy the Xanthos such to where he can bring his relatively massive firepower to bear on whoever comes from this whole section. There's not a lot of cover coming in. The only real cover is on the right side here, kind of into this zone, a little bit right there, but that's probably never going to be a thing. So yeah, I want Earl to have the most coverage as possible, and we still don't have LOS on anything. Do we have something maybe we can scout with? How about our Wolverine? And also, how about Where is, I'm looking for reset window positions. There we go. I don't know where that had gone off to, but it wasn't visible. So we do have the Wolverine with our veteran pilot Pedro, who apparently we hired at some point, but I don't really remember, who did apparently spawn with a natural aptitude for piloting as well as pain resistance. So that is interesting. This guy could actually be a major player in the unit. Let's see, and he is armed with 2 medium lasers and the autocannon and the SRM-6. So better at close range, but not bad outside of 9 hexes with the autocannon. We can get him to this hex in 1 turn with a jump, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This jump with a, or this hex with a run. But it's only 1 hex difference and not more evasive, so either way. Okay, I'm kind of starting to get nervous that I have, oh, there they all are. Okay, so now we know where they are. We've got a guillotine, we've got an archer and a partisan against our Wolverine. We've got a Warhammer, LRM carrier, Grasshopper, Thunderbolt, and a Warhammer against Earl, who has very little combat experience. We also have our allied Hunchback 4H, the autocannon 10 and the extra medium lasers, who I kind of think needs to 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not ideal. Maybe if we do like that, kind of scoot this way, try to maybe flank the LRM carrier or the Grasshopper. That Warhammer is in heavy woods. He's probably just going to stand there and blast his PPCs. Okay, we've got the Wasp and the Stinger eyes on. We've got their Hunchback, and that is the 4P. And we've got a Hetzer with a veteran pilot. One, 2, 3, 4, so we can get there at a walk next turn. That'll shield us from some of this stuff. Or we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm liking these woods by turn 2, I think is the plan. Oof. So we've won initiative for round 1. We do have them roughly out BV'd, but only if you count the Federated Commonwealth forces for full, which I argue might be a fallacy. Okay, so the archer, we know where you're going. You're moving 3 hexes and you're stopping there. Wait, no, not there. There. Or we could run 1, 2, 3, 4 and walk to here next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's barely in range of the Hetzer. Come on, show me the stats, please and thank you. Or I can just look them up myself. We have 3, so at 12 hexes, that's extreme range, so that's 9s. Used 6 MP, so that's 11s. 12 for my movement. And does that heavy woods quite cover me? Yeah, it does. So that's going to be like 14s to hit. So we can do that. Wolverine, we already had a plan for as well. Although that doesn't give us LOS on the Hetzer. Nor does that. Nor does that. So I think what we were planning on doing was jumping. Maybe trying to take some pot shots on the guillotine or the hunchback. Or maybe the partisan. We'll see. Alright, random guy. You have a frankly overwhelming number of bad people coming after you right now. That LRM carrier in particular could be a threat. Okay, so you're an elite pilot. That's 2, 3, 4 for running, 5, 6 for long range or medium range, 7 for his movement. So that would be what, 7s and 9s on an LRM carrier? Sure. We'll take it to +2 for our own defensive modifier for that. Now, random guy. You can only walk this turn because your mech has poor performance. We're going to upgrade that thing eventually after this contract. So at a walk, you've got the Warhammer, you've got all these guys at medium range. The LRM carrier has you at medium range. Next turn you'll be able to make it to here, and maybe you could like circle around or something. But for right now, walking is the only option. And our reinforcements look like they're doing diddly squat. Oh, that hunchback got close. This is the Mark II Archer, which has less of the heat sinks. So we've got 13s on the Hetzer because of that strong gale. We've got 10s on the Archer, 11s on the Hunchback. Well, I guess we will launch one rack at the Archer and 2 medium lasers, I'm thinking, at the Hunchback, just so that we don't overheat too badly. Should I maybe reprioritize those? That was 10s and 10s. I could end up with 9s and 11s. Fire, fire. Actually, at this point, it doesn't matter whether I fire at the Hunchback or the Archer, I guess. Grabbing food, we'll be right back. All right, cool. We'll see you when you get back. Me and I guess the one other viewer that I've got right now. But hey, it'll be on YouTube at some point, so maybe more people will see it then. I'm not stressing about it. So we've got 10s on the LRM carrier, which means we've got 11s on all of these guys and 12s on these guys. 12 on this guy. Well, I guess we'll take a couple of 10s. Hopefully we get a lucky crit. Oof, yeah, can't wait to upgrade the Xanthos. Once it's got regular tech in it, it's actually a really good mech. Wolverine at the Hunchback. On 10s, that'll be 10s and 8s. Versus 11s versus 11s versus a 14. So I guess we're going to concentrate fire on the Hunchback. I don't think we're going to deal enough damage to him to force a PSR, but it's worth the shot. It's always worth the shot. Same thing with this LRM carrier. I don't think we're putting enough fire accurately enough downrange to kill it in one turn. But it is like I wouldn't not take the shot just because the odds are long. I'm gonna maybe not alpha strike. Wait until I've got a better shot to really lay into them. But you know, it's worth trying to get lucky, because sometimes your luck is on your side. Not always, but sometimes. So, the cadet shooting at the building 2731. Archer did actually land both of his medium lasers on that Hunchback, the right arm and the right torso, each taking 5. So that's exciting. Maybe we will actually force a PSR out of him. The enemy Hermes 2 firing at building 2731. That is the same building. It's down to 123 structure, so it's holding strong. Xanthos at the LRM carrier lands a large laser to the front. He's down to 4 armor already. Enemy Hunchback at our Archer needing 9s with all of his medium lasers, but he only lands one of them to the left leg, and we've got plenty of armor there. Spider at 2731 knocking out 10 more points with 2 medium lasers. Partisan at 3529 hitting for looks like 8 points. Wolverine on the Hunchback does not get as lucky as the Archer did, missing with everything on 9s and 10s. The Guillotine at 3529 and missing. The Warhammer at the Xanthos and missing. Other Warhammer at 2731 landing both PPCs. That's going to cost him some heat though. Our friendly Hunchback at the LRM carrier landing 10 to the left side. Sadly not the front, which probably would have killed it. And missing with all 3 medium lasers. LRM carrier at the Xanthos on 10 and missing. Our friendly Phoenix Hawk LAM at the Warhammer on a 12 and missing. Thunderbolt at Hex 2731 and missing. At the Xanthos missing. Did land 12 LRMs on that building though. Enemy Archer at our Archer on 11s and 9s and missing. LRM 20 turret missing on 12s. Grasshopper on the Xanthos missing on 9s and 11s. Shadowhawk at 2731. It is down to 73 structure, which actually is a little scary because it started at over 100. So yeah, that building's not going to be able to withstand much of that. No physical attacks. Very little to report in the way of heat, except for Warhammer number 72 is at 7 heat, so he must have fired, clearly fired both PPCs. And a medium laser and ran, if I had to guess. But I haven't been keeping up with every mech. We have won the initiative by virtue of our bigger bonus. They actually rolled really well and have a bonus of their own, so they're 12, only superseded by our 14. Within our team, though, we're kind of sucking. We only beat the civilian units. They're down to 99%. We're down to 99%. So, opening volleys. I'd love to finish taking out that LRM carrier this turn. Would love to take out this Hetzer this turn. Is it worth taking a shot in the face to get into kicking range? They would need a 3, 4, 5 for flanking, 6 for woods, 7, 8. I've only got 2 medium lasers, and battle fists are useless. I don't have any skills that are relevant. I'd be taking an 8 to the face in exchange for 2 medium lasers and a kick. No, I don't think I want to commit to that. However, this Wolverine here can get mighty close without being in his arc. I would put him at 6 heat. 2 medium lasers would be 12. 13 for the autocannon. The autocannon's going to have a minimum range issue unless we pull a secondary target. But yeah, that +3 evasion mod I think is the best thing we can do with him. Whereas I'd like to get you out of his arc if possible, but there's nothing but pavement in front of you. No, I think the evasion is important. It's a 4 because of the strong gale. We made it. Random guy. Hey, Earl got shot at, but not hit last turn. We're only on round 2. However, he is, I don't know if this helps or not, but yeah, he's this A right here, this assault mech, and they've got a light, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, maybe another medium and a light and a couple tanks. And of course the AI is being less than helpful, hiding out in these buildings. That said, I mean, we're doing good so far. And we're up to a run, so that's cool. Sending him against an entire army. Yeah, that is certainly what it feels like. I think this Hunchback's priority is going to be this LRM carrier. I want that thing dead, and I want it dead now. See, like, the Blackjack and the Vulcan, they're just hiding in the buildings, and it's like, it would be nice if you guys would come join me. So that would be medium range on pretty much everyone. I'm guessing that the Warhammer Grasshopper... Warhammer had a +2. Grasshopper's got a +1. This Warhammer has a +1. Warhammers are big and nasty and have PPCs. And that's going to be medium range for them as well. I wish this Xanthos had better armor, like the more modern one does. At least we'll be out of sight of the Shadowhawk. And I guess the Hermes. Alright, yeah, let's try to get a little bit of space there. Alright, so we've got our archer who tried to be evasive this turn. We've got 7s on the guillotine, we'll take those. And follow that up with a 9 on the archer, which if we get super duper lucky, we might force a PSR out of him. The Wolverine is definitely going after this Hetzer. And even on an 11, that's worth it. And a pair of 8s. The 10, not so much, not for 4 heat. Not if we'd have to give up one of our 8s to use it without overheating. Alright. Let's go ahead and knock out the easy one first. So we've got 5s and 4s. Jeez. Yeah, we'll build up 5 heat on a bunch of 4s. It might be overkill. Actually, no. Let's substitute an 8 for one of those 4s. That way at least our heat, we can still turn next turn and still be evasive. And Earl, aka random guy. Looks like this grasshopper is going to be the best target on 10s. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be, I think, 9s for the laser, because the gale doesn't affect them. 9, pair of 11s. And of course, the SRM is going to be Impossible. Alright, let's see how that... Jeez, so many more arrows. Vedette misses the building on a 4. Hermes 2 hits on 4s and 1s and 3s. It's down to 60 construction factor. Friendly archer on the guillotine hits with 1 laser to the right leg. It's down to 17 armor. Machine gun turret missing the hunchback on a 12. Hits her on building 3529, hitting the machine gun in that turret and knocking it down to 109 construction factor. So that one must be a fresh one, not the one that was down to 60 at least. The friendly Wolverine with the grasshopper missing on a 10. The enemy wasp missing our hunchback on 9s and 11s. Enemy hunchback on building 3529 hits with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lasers, taking it down to 66 construction factor in a big hurry. So, now remember, if we drop down to having less than 3 surviving turrets and allies, I believe, was the victory condition. So, our Wolverine at the Hetzer, missing with the autocannon, but hitting with the medium laser, costing it half of its movement points. So that will, after this turn, be a 2-3, which will be an easier target. The enemy Stinger missing our hunchback. The enemy Spider hitting building 2731 for another 10 points of damage. Friendly Vulcan at the Spider hitting hitting with the machine gun to the right arm, down to 3 armor there, and a flamer to the right torso, leaving him with 4. The Partisan at building 3529 hitting with all 4 autocannon 2s, knocking it down to 56 construction factor. The enemy Guillotine at our Archer, landing 2 medium lasers to the center torso and left arm, down to 17 armor there. Friendly Hunchback at the LRM carrier, missing with the autocannon, but hitting the left side with 2 medium lasers, which is enough to kill it. Oh, hey, Frank. Earl in the army. I want to watch that from a far distance. Told you they hate archers. Not as much as we hate LRM carriers. We just totaled that one. And you've taken 2 medium lasers. Wait, is this? This isn't even you, is it? That's Renita. But yeah, archers I've found tend to be targets. Battle masters tend to be targets, and Cyclops, in my experience, also tend to get disproportionately targeted by the enemy. And I think it may be because they're command mechs. I don't know. I do know that I've had a hard time keeping Cyclopses alive in my side game. And of course, the Battlemaster died in the first mission. We all remember that, right? Alright, so Warhammer 65 is the one with the terrible pilot. Still manages to knock off 20 points of building 2731. LRM carrier still missing the Xanthos on 8s. The Thunderbolt hitting the large laser and 9 LRMs. Building 2731 has no functional weapons remaining. Let's see, Earl at the Grasshopper hitting with a large laser to the right arm, so that's something. On 10s, 9s, and 11s, so not an easy shot by any stretch. Enemy archer at our archer landing 12 missiles to the right torso, right leg, and right arm. The only one of those below 20 armor remaining is that right torso. Our friendly LRM turret at the Hunchback missing on 11s. The Grasshopper destroying building 2731 with a barrage of lasers. Phoenix Hawk LAM missing the Hunchback on 12s and 10s. Earl is probably like, yeah, I was born to do this. I like it. I love the mental imagery of the old logger in a combat mech, just living it up. Shadowhawk also firing at building 2731, but it's already dead. Rocket launcher turret destroyed by building collapse, and our archer needs a 6, gets a 7. So that was closer than I would have liked. Physical attacks, we're going to go for a punch on an 8. Maybe we'll hit the head, who knows. Or, yes, we could hit the head for 6 damage, leaving him with 3 armor remaining and forcing his first consciousness check. Their Wasp also missed our Hunchback with a kick, but does not fall down, even needing a 6. So all of our heat looks like 3 or below. Their Thunderbolt is at 5, their Warhammer is at 7, their Hunchback is at 7, their other Warhammer is at 7, their Archer is at 8. So some of them are pushing pretty hard to try to maintain this pace. We've won the initiative, and we're still at 99%. They're down to 96 and 84. And their air support is down to 81, which I understand means they have bombs, slowing them down and reducing their battle value. But yeah, we have them down significantly. They have us down insignificantly at this point. Positioning does count for at least as much as points remaining, though. Always try to be aware of that. So this Hetzer, which hasn't taken very much damage at all. I think... yeah, we can be really evasive. We can be in the woods, and we can be at medium or short range for the autocannon, medium for the lasers. In the side arc, I believe, of that Hetzer. So if we could immobilize it, that would be fantastic. This archer, I feel like, wants to back up and try to bring his missiles to bear on something. Maybe the other archer. That guillotine is way too heavily armed to be this close to my support mech. But let's see what else we can do. Earl can get in kicking distance of this Warhammer, and Warhammers are notoriously bad at sustaining kicks. And it gives us plenty of evasion for Xanthos. And it's short range for literally all of our guns. Yeah, I can imagine Earl charging a Warhammer. He has 4 legs, exactly. Granted, 2 of them get hit on the arm hits, but you know, it's yeah, the odds of you getting knocked down and not being able to kick are pretty slim, I would say. And in fact, we can go here. We're in the left side of the Warhammer there, but we are at least close range for the autocannon. And last but not least, the archer. Six hexes from the archer, 6 hexes from the partisan. Walking for a 3. 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes from the hetzer, who's already going to be targeted by the Wolverine, I think. Sacrifice our evasion to be the optimal range from this archer and the partisan. Yeah, I think we're going to launch some missiles this turn. Launch some missiles. On 9s, I don't think so. How about 7s? Yes. Because that is the most we're going to get out of this archer. Speaking of which, our other archer will be arriving in 5 turns. We've got 9s there, we've got 9s there. 8s, 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 sure. And an 8. The 10, I don't think is worth going up to 5 heat for, though. I think the small laser kind of tips the balance there. Because, well, we could skip the medium laser. But on an 8 versus a 10, yeah, I think the laser is the more... No, wrong button, my bad. Medium laser, small laser, and done. And the Wolverine was already planning on firing at the hetzer on 7s and 8s. Ooh, is it worth the 10? I mean, it's not in his rear arc, I don't believe. If that was a mech, at any rate, it wouldn't be. On a 10, that would put us at 18, that's plus 7. Yeah, we'll do that now, and we'll cool it on one of the lasers next turn. Ask yourself, what would a dinosaur in his 40s do? Then do it. Yeah, I think charging a Warhammer is something that Earl Sinclair would definitely do. Oh, and our Hunchback has the Warhammer on 6s. You might be kicking him while he's down. 6s and 7s. Yeah. Well, I didn't see him prone yet. Hermes 2 hits Earl in the front left leg for 5. So he's down to 11 there. Friendly Wolverine missing the Warhammer, and that's 72 Warhammer, which is the better pilot. The other one being a 6.6, so 3.5, better than average, is definitely better than a terrible pilot with a 6.6. Vedette missing the Xanthos hetzer, hitting the building in 35-29 for 15 points of damage and stunning the crew. Wasp at the Hunchback and missing. Our archer at their archer, landing 16 missiles, 5 of them to the head, forcing his first consciousness check. Eon, or is that Eon or Ion? I'm inclined to call that Ion. 5 to 10 to the left leg and 1 to the right torso. So that's cool. Enemy Hunchback 4P hitting a bunch of medium lasers at building 3529. Down to 6 structure. I'm guessing it's going to be down to 0 by the end of this phase. Vulcan missing the Hetzer on an 8. Stinger missing the Xanthos on a 10. Spider, yeah, destroying building 3529. I called it. Xanthos missing the Warhammer on 9s and 8s. I was hoping for at least 1 hit out of all of those 8s. Couldn't roll better than a 7 on any of them. Just bad luck, I guess. Partisan shooting at the Archer, hits with 4 autocannon 2s to the right arm, left torso, right leg, down to 16 armor on that right arm. Friendly quick draw at the Warhammer, missing on a 12 with the LRMs. Guillotine at building 3529, it's already dead. Warhammer at the Xanthos, landing a medium laser to the front left leg, down to 6 armor there, and a small laser to the center torso, down to 28. And a machine gun to that front left leg, which honestly is the only thing that, well, okay, so I was misremembering. Okay, down to 4 on that front left leg, and apparently also the rear leg is also. Wolverine immobilizing the Hetzer, finally. Hitting it in the right side, in the front, and the rear with medium lasers, but missing with the SRM. Hopefully, I'm thinking next turn we cool it with the lasers. Probably just the autocannon and the SRM, because that's 5 heat plus jumping, because we want to stay evasive. Is 10, that lets us cool down a bit. Phoenix Hawk LAM at the Thunderbolt on 9s and 10s and missing. Warhammer on the Xanthos and missing. Manticore on the Hunchback missing. The enemy Archer and our Archer landing 12 LRMs, so not quite as many as we put on him. To the right torso, left torso, and center torso. Excuse me. LRM turret missing on 9s, Thunderbolt missing on 8s and 11s, Shadowhawk hitting the building that's already dead, the Grasshopper at the Xanthos to the center torso with a large laser, down to 20 armor there, and a medium laser to the rear left leg, down to 11 armor there. Our Hunchback on the Warhammer hits with the autocannon to the left arm for 10. Hits with a medium laser to the left leg for 5. Machine gun turret has collapsed. The Archer stays standing. The Xanthos, because of the strong gale, did not stay standing. So there goes our opportunity to kick. And there's also 10 damage to the rear left leg, which is now down to 1 armor. So that's kind of weak. Earl does manage to avoid taking damage himself, though, so that's cool. Warhammer kicks the Xanthos on the right torso for 14, leaving us with 5 armor. The Hunchback kicking the Demolition Mech in the left leg, critting out the hip and the foot, and knocking it down, where it takes another 4 to the left arm, and is forced to make his first consciousness check. So our Wolverine is now at 7, our Archer is at 4, Hunchback is at 4. Our friendly Phoenix Hawk is at 6. Civilian units are all running cool. Their Thunderbolt is at 5. Warhammer is at 7. Guillotine is at 6. Hunchback is at 6. Archer is at 11. Wow. So he's going to be taking 2 movement penalties and a gunnery penalty. Girl, I believe in you. Yeah, he stands up automatically, at least. So that's like no roll required. They did outroll us for initiative, but we outbonused them, so we get initiative. Within our team, however, we are going second. We're down to 97%. Civilian units are down to 96. Turrets are down to 96. However, the enemy are down to 94 and 83, so things could definitely be going worse. You know what I could do? Could back up. Just double check the ranges here. I'd want him to be at least kind of evasive. So we'd do something like that, maybe. Well, the partisan... Yeah, I definitely want to be into his medium range if we could. So that's, since it costs us nothing, we might as well do that. The Wolverine, I think we'll maybe start harassing this archer. And the partisan, perhaps. They haven't moved anything over here except this Thunderbolt yet. It's your standard Thunderbolt. Hunchback needs a turn to cool down, though. I don't think I want to get into melee range with someone who outtons me by 15. Yeah, no, I don't want to be turning my back to these guys. Automatic success. Yes, we can stand. Well, he succeeded because you believed in him. Okay, so Hunchback I think will move last. Wolverine, I think we'll try to be 3 hexes away from the archer. Not quite jumping full distance because of heat considerations, even though it would be more evasive. It would be a penalty to our gunnery. Not from the heat, but from the range. It's not like believing in the power of the cards. It's very much like believing in the power of the cards, yes. We could try and take out this wasp real quick. Ran 17. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7s. Yeah, and then we can scoot around here to reinforce, maybe? Man, how did that Vedette get all the way up there already? Alright, Demolition Mech with a damaged hip falls down, takes 4 to the right torso. So yeah, that's why you don't put terrible pilots in terrible mechs. I kid. I know everyone's trying to do the best they can. This partisan 9s versus 6s. Versus 7s on the guillotine. Yeah, let's try and take out this this Hetzer first. But do we want to build up 5 points of heat doing it? No, we'll build up 2 with a laser. Oh man, even with a couple extra heat sinks, that archer just runs really, really hot. Random guy. We only have 1 decent target, and that's the Thunderbolt. So we will take it. 1 7s versus 9s. Build up 3 heat like so. Sevens or 6s. heat considerations, however. We'll go for just the 7, I guess. Or do we go for a 7 and a 7? Yeah, who knows? That might be the killing blow. What are the odds? I know, right? Then we came here for 7s on the Wasp. 1 is 8. That's a gunnery penalty. I'm hoping we can like leg him with the autocannon or something, but I hope you guys will excuse me for just one moment. I'll be right back. All right, I do appreciate your patience. Okay. Uh, the Hunchback's just a good, straightforward mech. I just got back and got some food, don't worry. You're lucky that Earl's mech has 4 legs. I mean, I don't know if he would have rolled poorly enough to not stand up. Honestly, I feel like it was pretty unlikely that he got knocked down, but it does happen. However, what you guys have probably seen before I noticed was this Vedette actually shot the Xanthos in the rear left leg where it, I believe, just fell onto. And the weakened armor did not hold, and he crits out the upper leg and the hip. So that's going to be a +3 on all subsequent piloting rolls. Being a green pilot, even in a quad, that +3 is going to be a hindrance at best. I'm not lucky, Earl is lucky. So the friendly Wolverine at the Warhammer missing on 7s and 9s. The friendly Vedette at the enemy Spider landing an autocannon 2 to the right arm. Our Archer at the Hetzer landing 9 of his missiles and a medium laser, all of it to the right side, but not penetrating, only stunning the crew for 2 turns. The Hermes, following up the autocannon 5 barrage on the Xanthos, hits the center torso for 5, hits the front left leg for 5, which does get a 12 on the crit roll, which blows the front left leg completely off. Also hits him in the head with a flamer for insult to injury, which forces Earl's very first consciousness check. So I seem to have a run of bad luck with pilots, especially green pilots, in their first couple of missions. I'm thinking of my HBS playthrough where Lark got wounded for like 40 days his first mission out. But even with the quad mech, losing that front left leg is going to be an automatic fall, so that's going to be probably a second consciousness check at the end of the phase. And we're only right here. Oof. The friendly Vulcan at the Shadowhawk 2H, hitting the right arm and the left torso, and also the right arm 2 more times, down to 7 armor on that arm, so that's cool. Earl has had worse than some rough bars. He ain't phased. Good to know. Good to know. The Xanthos, or the Wasp firing at the Xanthos, lands a medium laser to the front right leg and an SRM-2 with 1 missile to the rear left leg, also blowing off a leg. So Earl is no longer going to be able to stand, I think, with 2 legs blown off. I'm not even sure how many movement points he's still going to have to turn while being prone, but hopefully he's still able to prop himself up and shoot. We need to get Earl some modern armor. That is absolutely the truth. I'm honestly kind of hoping this is the last mission of the contract, because I'm really looking forward to upgrading some of these mechs, like the Xanthos, like the Mackie. Speaking of the Xanthos, landing the autocannon 10 on the Thunderbolt to the head, critting out the standard cockpit, and destroying the pilot. So, that was a heck of an accurate kill for Earl. No, Earl didn't go down. Earl didn't go down in glory. This is the Xanthos shooting at the Thunderbolt. Yeah, we do have a mission tomorrow. I'd forgotten. Thanks for reminding me. That was sarcasm. Losing 2 legs but taking out 2 Thunderbolts. Was it 2 Thunderbolts? Literally went down with his legs blown out. I mean, yeah. Critting out the cockpit of a Thunderbolt that is basically pristine. I mean, this thing is untouched. That is literally the smallest amount of damage you can do to a Thunderbolt and kill it without just getting a lucky through armor crit. That was an amazing shot. That was extremely lucky. Nunzio Daddy is already dead. Also hit the right arm with a couple of lasers, but hey, you know, I'll take it. We're probably going to salvage that Thunderbolt and keep it. The Spider firing at the Vulcan, hitting the right leg for 5. The Stinger firing at the Phoenix Hawk LAM, hitting the head with a machine gun down to 4 armor in his first consciousness check, because Phoenix Hawk LAMs apparently only have 6 armor, which is something I never, ever, 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 ever do with any of my mechs. Anything less than 7 armor is, anything less than 8 armor is just begging for a PPC to the dome. The enemy Guillotine firing lasers at our Archer, hitting the right leg with his large and the right arm with a medium. Our Wolverine at the Partisan, hitting the right side and immobilizing it, so that's going to be a much easier target next turn, and hopefully not even a threat after that. The Partisan returning fire on our Archer, hitting the left arm with 2 of his autocannons for 4 total damage, which is honestly, I'm more worried about crits from him than damage. Enemy Archer, or Warhammer 65, and that was the weak one. The 6/6. Also landing a medium laser on the Xanthos to where his front left leg was, into his left torso, down to 14 armor there. Phoenix Hawk LAM at the Grasshopper, hitting the left torso and the right arm for 5 each. Warhammer, this must be the strong one. Yeah, the 3/5. Hits the Xanthos in that damaged left torso with a PBC, and then following that up with 4 SRMs to the right torso, critting out the autocannon 10 with a through armor crit. Left torso, center torso, front right leg, which is still holding strong. The now dead Thunderbolt at the Xanthos, hitting the front left leg, transferring into the left torso, critting out the SRM-4 and the large laser. So that's his 3 biggest guns. Yeah, that's the autocannon, the large laser, and the SRM all out of action. So you still have, I think, 3 medium lasers. Oh, and apparently you're knocked out at the end of this round. 2 mediums and a small laser is pretty much all you have left. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, this is not great. Time to crawl away, or maybe eject, unless you're worried about, well, the Thunderbolt's already dead. Oh, 2 more medium lasers to the front right leg and the left torso, critting out the medium laser, critting out the small, and hitting the large laser again. Because apparently the Xanthos is really, really easy to get 3 crits on with that +2 bonus. And also they had been rolling really well on their crit rolls, which really sucks. Our Hunchback destroying the Wasp's right arm with his autocannon into the right torso, the left arm with a medium laser. Not the legging I was hoping for. The enemy archer at our Wolverine, hitting a medium laser to the center torso. Grasshopper. I see what happened now. Grasshopper also joining in the beatdown on the Xanthos, hitting the left torso. Left torso, critting the SRM ammo, forcing 2 more consciousness checks, and causing Earl to black out. But at least he auto-ejects. So yeah, ejection is not so much an option as an automatic. So, the Xanthos, however, 200 damage to the left torso, transfers to the center torso, section destroyed, critical hits on the engine and the gyro. There is nothing left of the Xanthos. That is going to be a total and absolute loss because of that ammo, which is kind of a shame. I was really looking forward to fixing it up. Oh, and then the autocannon 10 ammo also explodes, destroying the right torso and delivering another 86 damage to the center torso, which was already like 100 something points in the negative. The Shadowhawk at the Vulcan, landing 1 SRM to the right torso. LRM turret, 20 turret, still being pretty useless. That Xanthos, well, it was a death trap. It's not so much a death trap anymore as it is a smoking crater. Kick him on a 6, maybe we'll still get a chance to leg him. Wasp kicks the Hunchback in the right leg for 4. Hunchback kicks the Wasp in the left leg, destroying it and transferring into the left torso. So the Wasp at least is going to be immobilized or near to it for the immediate future. The enemy Hunchback kicking the Demolition Mech in the right leg, but not getting the crit. Hunchback stays standing. Wasp does not, takes 2 to the center torso and makes his first consciousness check. Archer's at 2, Wolverine's at 4, Hunchback is at 6. We're expecting reinforcements on what, turn 6 or round 6, so that's a couple of turns away. Our allies are all doing pretty good. Phoenix Hawk is at 4 heat, Wolverine is at 2. Civilians are all at 0. Enemy Warhammer is at 7. Grasshopper's at 4. Guillotine is at 8. Spider's at 8. Warhammer and 72. 72 is the good one. Yeah, 72 is the good one. Is at 6 heat. Their Archer is at 5 heat. Now, I wouldn't say that the Xanthos is a death trap necessarily, because first of all, you didn't die. And second of all, a death trap implies that it has killed a pilot and survived itself, which it didn't. So I would argue against calling it a death trap. That said, we have badly lost the initiative for our team. But within our team, we are going last. So we should actually end up going second to last, which is not bad. I'd actually rather have my team lose the initiative and win within my team when there's a bunch of different factions like this, than have my team win initiative and have me do badly within my team. We're down to 89% of our BV. They're down to 76 and 76. And also, I'm not aware of when their air support is arriving, so that could be any moment. Zoom out a little. Okay, so their guillotine decided to just park himself right in front of me. Where, yeah, I think I'm gonna launch missiles and punch him in the back if I can. Blackjack in 2 turns, Archer in 3. Well, alright, that's as evasive as we can be and still try to be out of, you know, danger as much as possible. For A, that gives us, what, 2 medium lasers or thereabouts. Okay, Demolition Mech tries to get up and takes forward his right arm instead, makes a second consciousness check. Wasp ejects. The Vedette makes his piloting roll. The Archer runs and turns successfully. Russian bro, hey, how's it going? Don't know if you've been keeping up at all, but things could be going better. We just lost the Xanthos to a number of lucky crits. And we're also suffering pretty major damage on this Archer here. We will be, I think, firing both LRMs at the Hetzer, hoping to kill him finally. What happened and am I dying? Wait, Russian bro? Russian bro. Oh, is that Tsubasa? Is that the name I know you by? Okay. You were in the Blackjack, correct? You are not on the field yet. You will be the first of the reinforcements to arrive in another 2 turns. Meanwhile, the members of I guess Bravo Lance are struggling a little bit. Let me just check where I need to be shooting this partisan to do the most good. It looks like the right side, although I might consider the turret. Just to try to lock the turret, but no, we're gonna go right side, but we're gonna do that with the autocannon as a secondary target after we shoot some lasers into the back of this Archer. So that was right side and fire. That puts us at 4 heat. And this Hunchback, you're still at 100%. You're still at 97%. So I think that's tentatively our target. We also got 6s on the Vedette. Warhammer's a bigger threat, and I think easier to take down. So we'll go with a 6 and a 5 and a 5. Do we take the 9 to put us at 4 heat? Are you winning, son? I'm gonna take a nap. Good luck, Earl. Alright, sorry you couldn't stay with us, but I fully understand. Real life comes first. I'm sure you have obligations. I know I do. I appreciate the good luck. And to answer the question of whether we're winning, I think technically yes, but not by as much of a margin as I would like. Ideally, you know, we wouldn't be taking any losses, and we've already lost the Xanthos. And of course, yeah, ammo explosions. So Earl is currently unconscious, and we'll need, I believe, a 7 or better to wake up and try to retreat after this. Alright, so the Vidette at the Hunchback rolling a 3 on an 8, so missing. Wolverine at the Warhammer, that's the friendly Wolverine at the enemy Warhammer, landing a medium laser to the left arm, and some SRMs to the left torso, left arm, and right arm. Archer destroying the Hetzer, finally. The Hermes, the enemy Hermes at the friendly Wolverine on 10s and 7s and 9s and missing. The friendly Vulcan at the enemy Warhammer, hitting the right arm for another 7 points of damage. Our Wolverine at the Archer, hitting the left torso rear and the left arm, and hitting the Partisan in the rear as well, although we were aiming for the right side. Enemy Stinger at the Phoenix Hawk LAM on 11s and 12s and missing. The medium laser turret at the Spider, blowing off his left arm, so that reduces his punching capability, but otherwise not super helpful. The Spider hitting the crosscut MegaMek in the right arm with a medium laser. The Centurion missing. The Hunchback missing with the big gun, but hitting with the 2 medium lasers to the left leg, down to 0 armor there. The enemy Guillotine hitting our Archer in the left torso with a medium laser, down to 12 armor there. LRM 20 turret being as useful as ever. The Warhammer 72 is the weak one, correct? No, 72 is the strong one, the 3-5. Hitting our Hunchback in the left leg with a medium laser and the right arm with a machine gun. Warhammer 65, and that is the weak one, landing a PPC to our Hunchback's right arm, down to 4 armor there. Phoenix Hawk LAM returning fire, hitting the Shadow Hawk in the right torso for 5, down to 13 armor. The enemy Archer at our Wolverine, hitting the center torso and the right leg for 5 each, down to 10 and 11 armor in those 2 locations. The enemy Grasshopper at our Hunchback, hitting the large laser to the right torso, getting some lucky hits with those medium lasers to the left leg, down to 5 armor, and the left torso for 5 as well. Enemy Shadow Hawk at our friendly MegaMek, hitting the right arm for 5, critting out the rocket launcher, and the center torso for 5, leaving him with 4 armor. Our Hunchback is the only one that needs to make a piloting check, and he does, but only just. Alright, Archer. We're going to be punching this guillotine in the back on 4s. Wolverine on a 7, or we can kick him on a 5. Archers have strong leg armor, but I'm hoping to knock him down. Alright, so we punched the guillotine in the arm for 7. He's got 13 armor left. And the Wolverine kicked the Archer in the right leg for 11, down to 15 armor, and did not go down. Our Wolverine is at 4 heat. Our Hunchback is at 4 heat. Our Archer is at only 2 heat. But everyone's keeping a good, maintaining operating temperature kind of situation. Friendly Phoenix Hawk and Wolverine are both at 3 heat, but everyone else is damn pretty cool. The civilian units are all staying cool. The enemy Warhammer is at 6 heat. The other one is at 7. The Grasshopper is at 5. The Spider is at 9. And their Archer is at 3. Earl stays unconscious. Demolition Mech falls down and dies by engine explosion. So that is one more of our allies out of commission. We're down to 87%. Civilian units are down to 80%. Turrets are down to 94%. However, the enemy is down to 70 and 72%. So we are pulling ahead. We just need to keep doing what we're doing and keep doing it well. Oh. Heavy Strike Fighter Meteor has an arrow 4 that will land in 1 turn. I wonder where that's gonna happen. Probably on top of one of the turrets. Right, one more turn before reinforcements arrive. I don't know. So he should need to move at least 8 hexes before he turns, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be a safe spot for me here. We can take some evasion by jumping and some by being in woods. Honestly, this Wolverine hasn't taken really any damage yet. Whereas this Archer, I mean, I don't want to be where the Strike Fighter can get me. Even though I know the medium Strike Fighter only has the 3 missile launchers, actually. But that guillotine, maybe I can force a little distance there. I want to do something with this Archer, but what's best? I'm not sure. If we go there, we're moderately evasive. The Strike Fighter can attack us. The guillotine could turn around and start blasting us. And our best target's probably going to be this Archer. Alternately, if we go here, we're more evasive. The Strike Fighter can't attack us. The guillotine gets back shots on us. What's our back armor look like? 6 and 10? Oh, he's got a large laser though. I don't want to risk that. We'll continue front tanking with the Archer. Alright, everyone succeeds their piloting checks. Alright, Archer has 9s on the medium, has 5s on the partisan, or 12s on the Archer. Yeah, we're going to concentrate on this partisan more than anything else. Try to take him down. Alright. Wolverine at the Archer on, that should be 8s and 9s, I think. And an 11, I don't think we're going to take that. And our Hunchback on the Grasshopper on 4s, or the Wolf Warhammer on 6s. Honestly, they're both very likely to hit. Alternately, how's that not an arc? How far did he go? Wow. I mean, which arc do we need to go? 8s. Okay, so we've got 8s on the fighter, 4s on the Grasshopper, 6 on the Warhammer. Or if we go for the Vedette, we've got 9s, which is the worst. Worse than the Warhammer. Take a 4 and a couple of 5s. Call it 3 5s. Hopefully we can knock the Grasshopper down, perhaps. How good is his pilot, if it'll show me? And it doesn't seem that it will. Alright. Easy way or the hard way? I guess we're doing this the hard way. He's not a great pilot, but he's a pretty good shot. Maybe we can knock him down. Sounds like a train is inbound to your location. Yeah, I was hoping you guys couldn't hear that, but that absolutely is a train on the tracks near here. Need to invest in like some soundproofing or something. Cover up the windows. I don't know what else to do. It does kind of bother me that you guys can hear what's going on outside my house. And right on cue, the AC kicks on, so it bothers me when you guys can hear what's going on inside the house too. The SRM-2 turret missing the medium strike fighter. Archer hitting the Partisan with 9 missiles to the right side and immobilizing it, but it was already immobile, I believe. Fire an arrow at 4 at them. Let them think twice before honking again. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a local ordinance against using artillery against civilian vehicles. If not the Ares Convention. Hermes on our friendly Wolverine to the right arm and left arm, critting out the shoulder and the lower arm. The Flamer to the right arm, leaving him with 9 armor there. The Wolverine firing at the Warhammer hits him in the right arm with a medium laser, down to 6 armor there, so that's good. I know they start with, what, 20 armor on the arms? He's already taken a little bit of a beating. Vedette at the heavy strike fighter hits the left wing for 2. The Stinger at the Centurion and missing. The Partisan at the Archer hitting the right leg, right arm, left arm, and right arm critical, hitting the upper arm and the hand, even though there's 7 armor remaining. A little salty about that. Our Wolverine at the Archer hitting the left leg for 5, hitting the right arm for 5, but his armor is holding steady. Enemy Vedette at our friendly Wolverine hitting the center torso rear for 5, down to 3 armor there. The friendly Blackjack at the enemy Stinger hitting the medium laser to the center torso. 2 medium lasers. Oh, hits with all 4 medium lasers to the center torso, left arm, right torso, and destroying the left arm, transferring into the left torso, critting out a machine gun. And leaving him with 3 armor left on the left torso. Our friendly Vulcan at the Hunchback 4P hitting the center torso rear for 5, leaving him with 0 armor. And following that up with an autocannon 2. Not quite getting the crit, but doing internal damage and scoring actually a 2nd crit hit chance. Enemy Hunchback at the Centurion. He didn't like that Stinger, right? That Vulcan didn't like that Hunchback either. Getting into a center torso rear like that. I like it. Medium laser turret at the spider, missing on 3 7s. Our hunchback at the grasshopper, hitting the left torso for 15, stripping it down to 0 armor. And a medium laser to the left leg, down to 21 armor. Medium strike fighter hitting building 3518 with, looks like 1 SRM and 6 LRMs. Friendly Centurion also firing at the Stinger, hitting the right leg with the autocannon 10, transferring into the right torso rear, and following that up with a medium laser to the right arm, critting out his machine gun. So he is down a leg and almost an arm. Warhammer at the Hunchback and missing on an 8. Quick Draw on the Grasshopper, missing on 11. Enemy Archer at our friendly Wolverine, missing on 10s. Enemy Shadowhawk at the Centurion, landing a medium laser to the left arm. And Guillotine at our Archer, landing a medium laser to the center torso, down to 21 armor there, and a medium laser to the right arm, down to 2 armor there. Warhammer missing the Wolverine, Phoenix Hawk missing the Stinger, Grasshopper hitting a Hunchback in the left arm with the large laser, and the left torso with a medium laser. The Manticore at the Heavy Strike Fighter hits the nose for 10 points, leaving it with 2 armor. And the Heavy Strike Fighter firing at Hex 3518, knocking it down to 112's construction factor. The Grasshopper falls down, taking 7 to his right arm, leaving him with 2 armor, and forcing his first consciousness check. The Stinger automatically falls on his right arm, which destroys it, and needs a 14 to avoid damage, needs a 3 to stay conscious. So, yeah, I'd say that was a pretty good turn for us. And their Shadowhawk misses our Centurion on a 10 with a punch. We're at 3, 3, and 4 heat. We have reinforcements inbound. We have friendly Centurion at 1 heat, friendly Vulcan at 3 heat, friendly Blackjack is at 7, but that was worth it because he hit with everything, which was cool. The Phoenix Hawk LAM is at 6 heat, but he's got jump jets, he'll be fine. Enemy Grasshopper at 6, enemy Guillotine at 5, enemy Spider is at 10 heat, so that's 2 movement penalties and a gunnery penalty. Warhammer at 1, Archer at 6. Heavy Strike Fighter Meteor is out of control, loses 2 elevation, and Earl still has not woken up, even though he only needs a 7. We have won the initiative between our teams, and we are actually going second to last within our team, so that's not bad. We're at 86%, civilian units are at 80%, turrets are at 92%, enemy is at 69.4 and 69.1% rounding. So another couple of turns like that, I think, because they were at like 80% not long ago. Now they're down to 70-ish. Oh, and apparently I can deploy anywhere. That doesn't seem quite fair. No, that doesn't seem quite fair at all. I had just kind of assumed that we were coming in from this side, I feel like, but I don't know why I assumed that. If the enemy were all coming from the south, like the natural progression would be for us to reinforce from the north, but that's like an extra 4 turns at least before I get close enough to do anything. I think I'm going to limit myself to these rightmost 3 columns for reinforcements, just because that's kind of how I had been, I guess, expecting it in my head. Even though I know the bad guys are coming in from the south, but I don't see any reason that we can't be coming in to reinforce from a position perpendicular based on the battle site. So what I would like to do is maybe try to have Tsubasa and Vernita kind of double teaming this guillotine. I'll watch on YouTube. Alright, well, it's time. Yeah, alright, Varank, we'll catch you next time. Don't forget HBS tomorrow, same time, same channel. And feel free to leave a comment on the YouTube video or anything like that. Or, you know, obviously hit us up in the Discord, link in Twitch. Tsubasa finally joining the battle, and next turn will be the Archer and the Orion, so that's exciting as well. Getting dark earlier, so Dog has to go earlier. I understand completely. Also, I'm not mad about it getting dark earlier. The weather today was absolutely fantastic, at least where I'm at. Alright, so I think it's obvious that I want the blackjack to kind of close in with the guillotine as much as possible, even though he hasn't moved yet. Kind of want the grasshopper to move before I do anything there. I guess the archer over here can try to flank the partisan as much as possible. How many woods does that go through? 1 light woods. Medium range. Running. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -4 for immobile. Yeah, that's the move right there. Keep in mind, while the average 2d6 roll is 7, the average 3d6 takes the 2 highest is around 8.5. I had actually forgotten that you were rolling 3 dice, actually. Yeah, I tend to do that with the natural aptitude skills. I find myself forgetting that they exist and just calculating as if they were rolling the normal 2d6 distribution. So I apologize if I don't take full advantage of your skills. Yeah, I'll do the best I can, but I'm just saying that historically it hasn't been my strong suit. But yeah, I think I worked out the odds one time, and I think 8.5 is about right. And now we're gonna keep harassing this archer in his back, same as we've been doing. Alright, Stinger ejects, Grasshopper falls down and hits his head, taking his second consciousness check, and then making his seatbelt check, so it's just the second consciousness check. And then he does successfully stand on his second attempt. Heavy Strike Fighter is off the map and will not be making any attacks this turn. Hardened Building must have been the target of an arrow 4. Takes 10 points of damage, leaving it with 107 structure. Alright. Archer is shooting at the partisan for lack of anything better to do because of the way initiative worked out. Will not be aiming shots, and we'll just be taking a 7 and a 9, I suppose. Earl obviously is not shooting anything. Wolverine on 6s, and at the Partisan, again, I guess the rear this time on a 4 for 1 heat. I mean, I have such a hard time not firing autocannon 5s. The damage to heat ratio is just too incredible. 5-1 is the best in the game. Even the LB10X only has the 5-1 damage to heat ratio. So anytime I get a chance to fire an autocannon 5 or an LB10X, I'm going to fire an autocannon 5 or an LB10X. There's just no two ways about it. So we do have 7s on the guillotine with both large lasers, and 1, 2, 3. Sure, we'll go 4 medium lasers on 7s against that guillotine. And with any luck, we'll do as much as 36 points of damage to it. So that's really pretty amazing. So we're getting back shot by the Hermes here. I didn't see that. Come on, show me. Show me. What? This is so annoying. On 9s, 7s, and 11s. But on Hunchback, even that 7 is pretty worrisome because of the lack of back armor. And there's also a Warhammer up here who needs 6s on my front. That's not great. That's, if anything, more frightening than a medium laser on a 7 from the rear. We will be firing at the Grasshopper on 4s and 3s. And if we go there, that's 8. That's a targeting penalty next turn. And so is that. I don't normally like going up so high, but that's back shots on a Grasshopper, and it might be a last-ditch effort. With its range profile and heat, I would argue AC5 is one of the most efficient weapons in the game. It does have a good range profile, and it does have arguably the best damage to heat ratio. I would contend that the LB10X is, if anything, a superior weapon. And honestly, the PPC is arguably up there too, I would say. But medium laser has the crown and is not willing to relinquish it for anything. Yes, it does run hotter. Yes, it doesn't have the range, but it's 1 ton. And that's just a level of efficiency that is unmatched by any technology. The enemy Grasshopper has picked up a blown off leg, I suspect from the Visanthos, to use as a club, because Princess has started doing that recently. Let's see, the Vedette missed the Hunchback on its 8, which is good. The Wolverine at the Grasshopper hits the left torso for 5, left torso for 5 more, critting out a heat sink, but missing with the SRM-6. Enemy Hunchback at the friendly Vulcan hits some glancing blows to the left arm and left leg. Medium lasers to the left leg and left torso, as well as the right torso. Oh, that's the Hunchback 4P, the one with all the medium lasers, of course. Glancing blows to the center torso and right arm, and a small laser to the right arm. But the Vulcan is still standing and didn't go internal yet. So that narrow / low profile quirk is really paying off for him. Vedette at the medium strike fighter missing on a 12. Our archer at the Partisan hitting the right side with just enough missiles to kill it. Finally. And missing with the medium laser, because why not? The enemy Spider at building 2217 hitting for 10 damage down to 125 ammo. Yeah, it's a real good perk. Also, like SRM sixes with Inferno, but that's more for fun than being truly efficient. Um, I don't know. My knowledge of the rules is a little bit fuzzy when it comes to Infernos because when I did most of my playing as a younger person, it was in the late 90s, and the only Inferno missiles that were available were for SRM2s. So when exactly they became available for SRM6s, I'm not sure if that was a thing that happened later in the timeline or if it's just a thing that happened later in the real world. But the rules I'm most familiar with are the Battletech Compendium, which came out in, I think, 96. So I'm kind of a little bit, and I hate to admit this, but I'm a little bit stuck in the mindset of those rules. Um, and to my detriment, to be sure. Um, I the differences between the modern rules and those rules definitely throw me off from time to time. And they should have become available for all of them for a while. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm just not sure of when exactly that was. I think actually I could be loading Infernos into my SRM6s as early. I know I did it with the Fighting Bulldogs by 3050, but I don't know if I can do it with the Challenger Deep right now. Mostly prefer playing in the 6th Session Wars because it's the tech level I'm used to from playing as a kid. Yeah, exactly. Um, I was kind of there for the clan invasion, and I guess I have kind of a unique viewpoint on clan technology as far as like its munchkinishness, if that's a word. I think I just coined a phrase. Um, but yeah, it's pretty munchkin-y, in my opinion. And obviously, not everyone who plays clans or plays against clans is going to agree with me. Like I said, I feel like my viewpoint is pretty unique, but I just have this feeling that like level 2 inner sphere tech is kind of the standard, and the clan tech is like a level above standard. Try the ill clan arrow whenever it becomes available. I've heard just a tiny little bit about the ill clan era. I have no idea what was introduced aside from presumably new mech designs. I don't have any inkling what new technologies were introduced in the ill clan. Um, Friendly blackjack hitting the warhammer. They're nuking the tech differences between the inner sphere and the clans. Interesting. That might actually be worth checking out. I assume by just improving everybody's technology to a point where it's equivalent, or are they actually like downgrading the clan's technology? Take with a grain of salt. All right. Friendly blackjack at the warhammer to the right torso. Vulcan at the hunchback to the center torso. Left arm, left leg, left torso. They're upgrading everything to clan. Yeah, that's what I figured. It seems like a pretty steady upward trend. Like, maybe steady is the wrong word, but consistent at least. Not yet, they're not. Hey, Gribbly. Glad to see you in the chat, by the way. Um, Sadly, we are within a few minutes of wrapping up here. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this mission, but yeah, we're trying. If I can't stop getting distracted by the chat. Our Wolverine at the archer hitting the left torso rear, but not critting. The right leg, left side, and the left side of the partisan. Now we await my new era, starring the outer sphere. You mean the periphery? The outer sphere is already kind of a thing. Medium laser turret hitting the spider, critting out 3 of his jump jets. So, medium laser turret for the, progress. The Centurion at the Shadowhawk to the right arm. Quick draw on the Shadowhawk to the right torso. Hermes missing our blackjack at the guillotine, hitting the center torso with a large laser. Right arm, center torso, right arm, left arm with medium lasers, down to 8 on that left arm. And that's going to be a PSR. Demolition Mech hitting the Shadowhawk with a small laser. Partisan missing with everything. LRM 20 turret hitting the Shadowhawk with 16 missiles to the right torso, left arm, right leg, and right arm again. Going internal. Warhammer on the Hunchback to the right leg and the left torso with PBCs. Left torso down to 0 armor remaining. And I believe that left torso houses, yes, all of the autocannon ammo. So that's a little scary. Phoenix Hawk LAM missing the Hunchback. Enemy Archer missing the Vulcan. Friendly Manticore at the Shadowhawk hitting the left torso, rear, and the right arm, critting on the upper arm. Enemy Shadowhawk on a Centurion hitting the autocannon 5 to the center torso, medium laser to the right leg. Our Hunchback at the Grasshopper hitting the center torso, rear, hitting the head, blacking out the pilot, Viljami Hutanen, and the center torso, rear, critting out the engine twice, and the Grasshopper and the left leg, 2 more medium lasers, and the center torso, rear with a small. Hunchback falls down, but totally friggin' worth it. Taking 5 to the left arm. Vulcan stays standing. Grasshopper automatically falls with the unconscious pilot, destroying the left torso and taking 2 to the right torso. Grasshopper pilot now has 4 hits against him because he cannot pass his seatbelt check. The guillotine also falls, takes 7 to the left torso, does not avoid damage, needs a 5 to stay conscious, and blacks out. And the Shadowhawk needs a 10 but gets an 11. So, okay, I just saw the autosave dealie go up, and that is going to be my cue. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do the physical attacks. We've got a kick on a 5. Vulcan kicks the Hunchback in the right arm. Phoenix Hawk LAM kicks the Hunchback in the left leg for a total of 18 damage to him. Spider kicks the building. Our Wolverine kicks the Archer in the left leg. Archer punches Wolverine on a 9 and misses. Demolition Mech Wrecking Ball attack on the Shadowhawk hits for the 8 to the center torso. Shadowhawk kicking the Demolition Mech in the left leg, critting on his foot. And knocking him down, taking 4 to the left arm. Enemy Hunchback falls down, takes 5 to the right torso, rear. Enemy Archer falls, takes 7 to the left arm, and needs a 5 to stay conscious. So that was an eventful physical attacks phase. Earl still hasn't woken up. Demolition Mech takes 2 engine crits, but does not go nuclear, fortunately. We are at 4 heat on the Wolverine and the Blackjack. We're at 9 heat on the Hunchback. We're at 2 heat on the Archer. Centurion is at 2. Blackjack is at 5. Quick Draw is at 4. Phoenix Hawk is at 3. The enemy Warhammers are at 5 and 4. The Grasshopper is at 4, the Guillotine's at 4, the Spider's at 12 heat. He is just not letting up. Alright, we have 1 initiative for round 8. Even within our phase, so we're going, our team, so we're going dead last. Let's go ahead and commit to deploying before we call it a night, shall we? So we're gonna have the Archer, I think, start in this corner. Try to head through these heavy woods, try to take out this Archer, maybe get some shots on this Guillotine or this Hunchback. I like it. And then the Orion is definitely going to reinforce against this Guillotine. We'll go there, sure. And with all that done, we're going to save locally. We're doing base defense time again because we need that name again. We are going to no and yes, and I don't think much of anything has changed, but we're going to go ahead and save over this spot. And we're going to say thank everybody for watching. I appreciate y'all joining me on this journey. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow for some HBS Battletech, and we hope y'all have a good night.